this press conference and the response from the party chairman, and of course, the one that was also done by Phyllis Kwachufusu.
Thank you very much. We are in a very interesting time, and everybody must seek to learn. I am not a lawyer, I'm not a student of law, but what I love is to read more. So when all this started, I started reading commentaries by and listening to commentaries by learned people, those who are versed when it comes to law and all that. This morning, my submission, I will be quoting bits and pieces from Professor Kwaku Azah, Oliver Bakavomawo, and then Lawyer Thaddeus Sorry. In fact, I love their pieces. So, for the sake of time, I will start by saying that when you read Article 146, everything that is going on is stated, how the president must go about it and all that. Article 146 is clearly stated there. But what the suspended Chief Justice did, for me, is against Article 146. There's a reason why Article 146 states that in matters such as taking a certain Chief Justice through this process, it must be in camera. It shouldn't be public, because we must protect that arm of the state, that everything that goes on, we cannot put everything out in the public. But this woman, she stated that she has been a lawyer for so many years, 38 years and all that. With all that experience and where she has been today, today she is suspended, but a few months ago, she was the sitting Chief Justice. She's supposed to know this. So, with your kind permission, I will start with Professor Kwaku Azah. His introduction, he said, this opinion addresses the constitutional implications of the Chief Justice's public commentary concerning ongoing proceedings initiated under Article 146 of the Constitution. In particular, it evaluates the legality of such commentary in light of Article 146, Clause 8, which mandates that proceedings for the removal of a judge be conducted in camera, secret. It further examines whether such conduct is constitutionally permissible, whether it constitutes a separate or independent ground for removal from office, and whether it rises to the level of a constitutional offense. And then his second point is that personal caveat. Prior to petition for removal, it is important to disclose that I, meaning Kwaku Azah, submitted a petition on December 18, 2024, seeking the removal of the Chief Justice. The petition was reviewed and dismissed by the then president on the basis that it did not meet the prima facie threshold under Article 146. He continues. It's a lengthy one. So I would want to back what Professor Azah says about the secret nature of it, and I disagree with the Chief Justice coming into public with this.
I think initially she requested that it should be done in the public. It was taken to the High Court and then the matter was thrown out. But what she's seeking right now is that she appears before the committee and then the petition of which they found prima facie is not given to her for her to be able to refer to respond to it. It's like when she gets there, she's ambushed with are questions that she's not prepared to answer.
Thank you. The law is the law. Quoting suspended Chief Justice Tokonu. Today, as we speak, she has gone to the Supreme Court. She went to the Supreme Court to allow for a broadcast of the proceedings of the committee. And what did the Supreme Court do? It was thrown out. In fact, per the record, she has tried this for about 5 times. Supreme Court and the High Court, every petition, everything she has gone to seek at the Supreme Court or the High has been thrown out. Simply because whatever is going on is under Article 146, which for now nobody can say that any section of it has been violated. None whatsoever. What she is doing now is that something that she wanted to be made public, which is against the Constitution. The judges at the Supreme Court, at the High Court, all based their judgment on what is in the Constitution. What you are asking for cannot be granted based. And there are even precedents. About 3 cases that has already gone through this. You wanted to ask a question. Go
on. She says it seems what is happening is politically motivated. She wants to be removed deliberately.
She has brought all this angle of the political aspect of it on herself. Her lawyers. Who is her lead lawyer? All her lawyers are MPP. For me, I don't see anything wrong with that. Sitting here, I'm NDC. But I have my profession. When I sit behind the console as you are to present my show, I must do it as a professional. And for me, I can say for certain that I've done so professionally, according to the ethics of our profession. But what she has been doing or she has done is simply to court public sympathy. That is how come she was calling for this live telecast, so that I just don't get it. So the political side of it, she has brought it on herself. All her lawyers are MPP biased people. I don't have any problem with that. There is this lady, an MPP lady, Abna Menu, or Ekosuya Menu, who, yes, her whole press conference, who watch the video, all those seated there, majority of them are known MPP members. And this Ekosuya Menu went to greet her, thinking, for me, the impression was that, oh, she knows her. But a woman said, this thing that I'm meeting you for the first time, people will say, I'm MPP. So now let's do this. I don't have much time. I know you've given me 15 minutes. I've done 8 minutes. I have a few minutes too. So let's go into the matters.
You've done 10 minutes.
Okay. You have added the motivation to it. It's okay. It's okay. It's by a law. The law is the law. Lawyer Tadio Sorry has done a very fantastic job on this that everybody must find it to read. And so I want to share a few with us. And 25th June 2025, he captioned it, she said, we say. Oh, I love this. I love this. 1. The Honorable Leonard Chief Justice of several years standing at the bar, judge for so many years, says at Article 146 proceedings against her ripple far beyond her as a person. We say Ghanaians need no education on it. Charlotte Osei and other justices of the Superior Courts have been subjected to it, and there's too much case law. Which means others have gone through what she is going through. They didn't complain. She said she applied for a public hearing of Article 146 proceedings. We say, how could the whole Chief Justice not know that? 1, the Supreme Court has in at least 3 cases affirmed that Article 146 proceedings must be held in camera. See the cases of Justice Derry versus Tiger Eye. And then he quotes. And then Ejechum versus the Attorney General 2005-2006. The case law is there. Ghana Bar Association versus Attorney General 1995-1996. Ghana Law Review 656. All previous Article 146 proceedings which were conducted under the auspices of the Chief Justice have, in accordance with the Constitution and the Supreme Court decision, been held in camera. So with all this law and that I'm quoting, there are cases that has happened and all of them were held in camera. It wasn't broadcasted.
All of this is about the Article 146.
Yes, all this were about Article 146 as we are experiencing today. Is the Chief Justice complaining about striking out of a supplementary affidavit by the Supreme Court in a suit by which she herself invoked the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court? We say, has the Chief Justice so soon forgotten that in one of the LGBT, we will talk about it, case, she ordered that the affidavit of Wendy Yeboah, who deposed to an affidavit on behalf of the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, be struck out, even though she could not point out to a paragraph in it which was offensive. So under the suspended Chief Justice, she herself ensured that the case of Wendy Yeboah was struck out, even though she could not point to any such. Now I end with this. I know I'll have another bite. How come the Chief Justice does not know that she was in the Supreme Court invoking its original jurisdiction, but not to enforce her fundamental human rights, in respect of which it is the High Court, which is exclusive, which has the exclusive original jurisdiction? So, in her submission, she even mentioned the Do Lodge, and that she used to stay there with her uncle and all that. For me, bringing it up was unnecessary, very unnecessary. We have a history as a nation. Every nation has their history. Some are dark, some are bright, but it's still our history. So why are you bringing it in this case today, now? And that location brings her what? And that when she's going inside, they search her and all that. No one is above the law. No one is above the law. Okay. The law is the law.
Thanks so much.
The MPP
Evangelist Richard,
presenter. Mr. Presenter, the MPP, what are they going to say when it comes to this? I'm listening. I'm marking your time.
How many minutes?